Hello everyone, this is a Paper Princess and we're on page 2 now of our Savana album. And it's very possible that this video could post before making the base and before page 1 because it's a shorter video. And it just always takes me longer to upload the first 2. Sometimes it takes over a day to upload those. Don't know why, but the only thing I can think of is they're over 45 minutes. So let's get going with page 2. And if this pops up first and you want to start on it, that's fine, but know that the other ones will be coming. So there's just 4 cuts you need to do for this, and I will go over them right now. So the A flap is 7 7/8, and now if you're not used to my books, it's always like 1/8 measurements like that because I like to leave a little space. But basically, and you'll get used to this, it's 2 lines before 8. So that's by 6 1/2. B is 7 7/8 by 3 1/4. C is 8 3/8, which is 2 lines less than 8 1/2 by 7 1/2. And D is our pocket. And for the pocket, I'm going to go with this measurement throughout the book. It's a little deeper than my other books. But I was trying something new. So the inserts that you put in the pockets don't go flying around. So 8 5/8. So when you see a 5/8, it's 2 lines more than the half. The 3 lines is 2 lines less. So that's 2 lines more than 8 1/2 by 4 7/8, which is 2 lines less than 5. So let's get making those, cutting those. And when you rejoin me after you cut them, we're going to score them together. So let's take our A flap. That's going to be on the right hand side, and I'm going to score this with the 6 1/2 inch side facing the top of either your score runner or if you have a score board, whichever you prefer. I'm just going to hold this down. All right, B. I'm going to have my 3 1/4 inch side at the top. If you printed the cut list, the master cut list from the walkthrough, I am going to update it. This was 3, but I'm making it 3 1/4. So C, I'm going to have my longest side facing the top, the 8 3/8. This one I already had, actually, I don't want to be at 1 inch. I want to be at 1/2 inch. Flat sides facing up. So that was already done. D is our pocket. Now we're going to start with the side that's going to be open. That always starts first because you're not going to score that open side. So I'm just running down the short side now. Then across the bottom. These are all 1/2 inch. And then the other short side. Okay, and let's get some tape on here. Got my 3/8 inch tape. I'm running low here. I already have my C flap done. Okay, I'm going to press that down and fold these over. Now the pocket, I'm going to press this down, but I'm not going to fold it yet. So just in case this video posts before the other one, I will go over it as if it's your first time seeing it. But those who've made my books before know I do this, and you'll see it makes life a whole lot easier. So I'm on the flat side now. I see my two score lines intersecting right there. So I'm going to take my scissors, go right up to that intersection point, stop, turn out a little, and continue on so that it looks like a little Pac-Man or alligator mouth, whichever. Let's see. So that keeps going, and I'm going to throw those away. Try to clean up as I go along. All right, so let's bring out the pocket page. So I did page 1 in the other video. There's my other magnet hiding there. Okay, and I turn it over. I've got my 2 in the upper left-hand corner, and I like to always put my number, whichever side you want, as long as you're consistent, so that I know I'm facing the right direction. I don't want to ever, you would hate to have a page all done upside down because you didn't have it facing the right way. So let's put flap A first. So here we are. Flap A is going to go on the left-hand side. So let me take my little tool here and peel off this backing. I'm going to lay this down, and before I press it down, I'm just looking left and right, and I just have a little bit of space at the top. It'll be the top and bottom. Right now it's our left and right. And I'm going to guide it to the edge of this pocket page with my thumbs and just slowly drop that down. Okay, and then got my B flap, which is my small piece. I'm going to peel that back. Same thing, I have a little bit of space, and then I drop it to the edge. All right, I could scoot it down just a little bit. When I let go, it kind of, I'm just being nitpicky, but I want to scoot it down just a tad. I let go a little too soon, so here we go. All right. So let's do the pocket next. Take out my pocket. I'm just going to peel off this bottom piece, and because I cut it that way, it basically lets you stick a little piece of this side flap onto this tape. So I'm not going to take this off yet. The reason for that, twofold. When I lay it down, I have more control if it's not all sticky here. But mainly, when you put your design paper back here, it's going to go down about 1 inch. And with this not being sticky or stuck down yet, you'll easily be able to put your design paper there. Okay, so that's the reason behind that. And I'm just going to drop this down. And I have to have a little bit of space on both sides so that these side flaps can go over this pocket. So there's a little bit of space here. That will flap over nicely. And this over there. Okay, now let's turn this upside down. And I'm going to put a little weight down here. And this top flap is basically going to go right to the edge of this pocket. That's how it's going to line up, and then I'll take this off right here, and I'm going to guide it to the top edge of this pocket page. All right, so let's see. There we go. That looks good. Everything's going to fold over nicely. All right, so, because it's going to basically be these two here, and then this one over top. All right, so let's put down our magnets on this A side first. As a personal preference, I just put my positives first, just so I always know which one is positive and not. All right, scissors. And I'm gonna tape these down. Even though they have sticky on this side, I still like to tape it down. Make extra sure over the years of turning flaps, they don't come loose and rattle around your book. Okay, so now I need my opposite magnet. Whoops, that's not it. I guess that one's a different one. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to turn this and press that glue down and then tape these in place. Okay, so now for the B flap. I don't have a huge amount of room here, so I'm going to put these magnet here and then just flip it over and make sure where it lands is not too close to the edge. So let me put down my first one right in the corner, and before I tape it down, I just want to flip it over here and make sure that where it lands, which is right there, is not too close to this edge. So that looks good. Which means if this is about the same height, that'll be good. If I want, I can check. Yep, that's fine. All right, so let's tape that down. Okay, in my walkthrough video, I showed you some magnets that I got on Amazon. Those wound up not being a strong enough hold, so I'm back to these basic gray. But I am still gonna search Amazon for like a bigger magnet, so something around that size. A lot of times you'll see the person holding it on their finger just so you can tell how big it is. You want it to be at least that size or bigger, but type in thin magnets because some of them are really thick. You don't want that. So a thin magnet that's fairly big around. So that would be, I forgot what these little 3/8 inch, maybe they're 3/8 inch, not sure, but the small magnets, you want at least that size. So I'm gonna flip this over and press that down. And there we have it. It's not too close to the edge. I can tape that down. Our design paper will go and just have a little tiny sliver of black showing, so we won't see that magnet. There we go, and now let's do the top. Now I corner rounded these. I have a little We Are Memories and Keepers, and it's got a small, medium, and large rounded edge, so I like having all three in one place. But that's all personal preference if you want to round your corners or not. I just like the way it looks. On this, I don't think I rounded them because I'm going to be putting square pieces there, and that's why I left it squared off. But usually I round the edges. have extra extra minus magnet, so I am going to just take this last one, put it upside down, and put a piece of tape here to make it stick. Sometimes they're mislabeled and you have to do that. But I just have more negatives than positives, so I'm just gonna fix that problem right now. All right, and now I'm going to flip this over. And there we go, and I can tape these down. This way. Voila. So let me show you what I chose for design paper there, so you don't have to flip back to the tutorial. So our page 2, I put a solid piece on this top flap and then took this square of the zebras, and this comes from the 8x8 pad. Put that there, and basically what I do is I set my paper down. Well, this one I didn't have to. I just put the whole piece there. I might have cut some edge around here off. But I'll show you what I do for other papers. Like for this paper, I'll take this paper, and instead of figuring out what the measurement is, I'll lay the paper down and put a little pencil mark where there's a little bit of black showing here and there, and make my cuts and do the same thing in the other direction. So that's how I don't sit and figure out what the measurement is based on this flap. I just lay the paper there and make a pencil mark. And I'm never wrong with doing it that way. So now this flap, what I did here, on the small flap, I put the solid piece, and I used green because I used it on the front. And I took these little squares that you'll have in your 8x8 pad and put 3 of them, any 3, put right there. Do the same size piece over here on this side, but since this is a bigger flap, you will leave a little space, so it kind of looks like 2 flaps, and put just a strip of leftover, which I had, and I put that right there. So I did, these 2 are the same, and put another 3 different squares there. Okay, and the inside, I have, this is from the patterns and, you know, the backgrounds collection. Zebra here and there. I tried to line it up. This is the same piece so that these black lines line up over there. And I made, this is all leftover. Do these photo mats and things at the end. I have a little strip here left over, not enough to cover this whole page, so I just took that same green to go along with that theme and just broke it up with one of the leftover circles. There's a whole sheet of these sayings. You can put them wherever you want. So I just stuck one there to show you. And so there's that, and this folds over. When you make your pullouts, and this is on the cut list, I just chose this pink because I had it in here. So try to tie everything together, and I chose a zebra circle for that pullout. And basically I glued that down onto a black piece of paper that I have left over and cut around it. So I just had the eyeball cut around it. And that is it. So next video, we will be doing page 3, the other zebra page. And I will see you soon.